countries, including SVG, and he will do his part to get more persons involved.
Program called the Seasonal Workers Agriculture Program, and which is a program where people from the Caribbean come to Canada to work for sometimes it can be 3 months to 9 months to work on seasonal agriculture program in farms and so on. And I have to say that I've met a lot of workers, of people who come to Canada to work, and they return year after year after year. Some of them have come and have come for 20 years. And last year there were 300 of them, which is quite a lot, and it's very good. And these citizens from St. Vincent actually become ambassadors of St. Vincent to Canada, and then when they return, they become ambassadors of Canada to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, because they really create a link and a bridge between our two countries, because they live there, they love it, and they return here, so they still have their very ingrained in both countries. So I think this is also a very good example of our relationship and people-to-people ties.
International delegates will come together here from Friday this week for a United Nations security retreat to be hosted by the governments of SVG and Kuwait. The 3-day retreat will focus on the operations of the UN Security Council. A welcome reception will be held for the delegates attending the retreat on Friday from 7:30 p.m. at the Prime Minister's residence. SVG took up its seat as a non-permanent member of the Security Council on January 1st, having been elected in June last year as the smallest country to ever serve on the Council. SVG was one of 5 new members elected to the Council last year. The other 4 countries are Estonia, Niger, Tunisia, and Vietnam. Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves maintains that a city at Arnesville will become a reality. He outlined some of the plans for the new city at the ULP's convention at Camden Park on Sunday. The Prime Minister said part of the plan is to have a tunnel that will go through Cane Garden to facilitate easy access to the new city, connecting Kingston to Arnesville.
There is study in relation to a tunnel under Cane Garden Point. Look, as I tell everybody, in building out a city and in reconfiguring the city in Kingston, it ain't 5 years or 10 years, you know. This is a project to be built out over a longer period of time, but you will see it as it is building out. And at Arnesville, we only have one chance to get it right, so that when we come off of Cassan Hill, we mustn't see a dump, a slum down there. We must see a top-of-the-line town connected to the rest of Kingston, evolving in its majesty and beauty.
He said draft designs have already been prepared, however, the studies will take some time to be completed.
We are working with the business community, where we are going to build something by the old terminal building in the meanwhile, as the city builds out, to have a commercial sector there, which will have to be reconfigured when the entire layout is done. Because we have to do a lot of work for drainage by the river. And one of the reasons why we have to do a lot of work there, not only because of the project, the hospital we're building, the best piece of land they bought near to town for a lovely gated community of top-class houses is up at Fenton. And when the water come off of Fenton, the water will go down inside of the Warrawarra River. And it will be large volume, so you have to strengthen that properly.
The opposition New Democratic Party will continue to pursue the elections petitions even as the country gets ready for another election. The election petitions were dismissed by Justice Stanley John in March last year after the court found there was no evidence to support the major issues in the cases put forward by the petitioners. Leader of the NDP, Dr. Godwin Friday, says pursuing the matter to the very end is the right thing to do, as Vincentians deserve clarity on the last general elections.
We believe that the evidence is there. We believe that the judgment that was made, I mean, we accept that Justice John made his decision. That's his decision, but we don't accept that his reasoning was sound and that the evidence was properly accounted for, and those things will be brought to the attention of the Court of Appeal. And it's important to the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines to know what happened in the election of 2015, finally and conclusively. That has not been done. You know, had the petitions, when the trial was done, it revealed a lot of things that many people in the country were shocked. You know, many people who used to say that, and the people wasting the time, when they listened to the accounts from the trial, the petitions, they changed their mind. They said, no, something is rotten here, and we need to get to the bottom of it, because you can't go into an election without knowing what happened.
Dr. Friday said even though no date has yet been set for a hearing in the Court of Appeal, their team will be ready for when the time comes.
Well, as you know, the election petitions, the appeal has been filed. They had crossed appeal at some point. The court said no, that you're out of time, so they struck that out. So the only thing that's on the record that's going forward now is the appeal of the petitioners, Exeter and Batiste in in Central Leeward and North Windward, respectively. And the legal team, they are readying themselves to prosecute the appeal, to argue the appeal as soon as possible. We don't yet have a date. We know when the court comes here from time, various times. I think the next time it gets it's in February. But we are confident about the appeal, and we continue to urge that the matter be dealt with as quickly as possible.
Dr. Friday also noted with concern the timeliness of dealing with elections petitions in the Caribbean, which he said has to improve, noting that they have been at it for more than 4 years.
We are confident about the appeal, and we continue to urge that the matter be dealt with as quickly as possible, because, 4 years, it's ridiculous to have this matter still going on and the legitimacy of the government being seriously questioned. And after 4 years, the court can't have the matter determined. That's unacceptable. That's something we need to look at, not just in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but as a region in the OECS, to make sure that election matters are dealt with expeditiously, as the Court of Appeal had said at one time.
Ministry of Health taking steps to improve record keeping. This and other stories coming up when we return with more local news. Stay with us.
The local news sponsored in part by Flow.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 350 local anywhere calls and texts. With the always-on prepaid plans, all for $24. Keep your number when you switch to St. Vincent's most reliable network. Switch to Flow. It only gets better. Star Limited is now located on the 3rd floor of the first St. Vincent Bank building. They have extended their range of products to furniture, including patio sets, closets, shoe casing, beds and mattresses, TV cabinets, and kitchen cupboards, just to name a few of their luxurious pieces, all at unbelievable prices. Don't just take my word for it. Check them out upstairs the first St. Vincent Bank building. And don't forget, they still have the best in windows, doors, burglar bars, rails, and vanities. Star Limited, where quality and style is our motto.
A funeral service should be one that you can be proud of, one that leaves lasting memories of your loved ones. And that's where you need the New Haven Funeral Home. We are proud of the quality and class we have brought to the industry. We are proud for having trained the very first certified embalmers in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We are proud of leading the way in terms of live streaming of funerals online, so that your family members overseas could also be part of the celebration of life. We are constantly improving our services. We are driven by customer satisfaction, and we are proud of all that we do.
New Haven Funeral Home.
Kidney disease is a growing concern around the world and here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Chronic kidney disease is a life-threatening condition which occurs when a person's kidneys are no longer able to clean the toxins and waste products from the blood or perform other kidney functions normally. When this happens, a person needs dialysis. Dialysis is where a machine takes over the function of the kidney and safely removes the poisonous waste from the blood. Since 2012, Health Solutions Inc. has operated a full-service hemodialysis facility in SVG that offers state-of-the-art equipment, courteous, well-trained staff, and a comfortable treatment environment.
We're encouraging for early detection. Anyone who is either diabetic or hypertensive and has any questions or concerns, please contact us at 784-451-2836 or visit us at www.healthsolutionssvg.org.
Fitness goals with a little help from Quartz. Save big on home fitness equipment when you shop with up to 15% off. Plus, get a chance to win a free spin bike. Shop today and pay nothing until March with Quartz Ready Finance. Make no excuses. Shop and win. Only at Quartz. Bringing value home. Conditions apply.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment is examining ways to use technology to improve its record keeping. To this end, the Medical Records Department in the Ministry of Health in December last year concluded a 3-month-long digitization project. The project consists of 3 phases which saw persons being trained to collect, sort, sift and scan medical records, then upload to the SVG Health Information System. Systems Administrator with the Ministry of Health, Aspit Bala, said records at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital have been digitized, and it is hoped that other institutions can benefit from the digitization process.
Where we would match each record that is digitized to the name appearing in the system itself. So what is on the record, you would find on the computerized version of the health information system.
What does this mean for us?
Well, we have to think of this in the long term, as in this is just one part. This is just medical records at the MCMH hospital, where we could scan around 30,000 files within the 2 months or so that was given to us, right? With the intentions of branching out to the other hospitals and then possible clinics in the future. With all of this digitization, then we have an electronic replication of each note of patient record that we can manipulate and share easily using the SVG HIS with the doctors, nurses, well, most important, the end users of the system.
Bala said for now physical records will still be used, but eventually will be phased out.
So all this information now would be on the computer, so there would not be any physical record for patients?
Not necessarily. What it would, it's let's say it's in steps. So first we digitize the actual record. Right, but because the hospital would still be using this actual record, it's an active file. So yes, although we digitizing it, once it goes back to the medical records, you might have notes coming back and forth that would be entered into this particular record. In the future, hopefully, we intend to phase out the record, having the physical record, and just use the SVG HIS, the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Health Information System, solely. Because also we know that you can't just discard of records just like that. It's in a period of between 7 to 10 years in which you can discard of records.
The confidentiality of patient records and the ability of staff to handle the digitization process were two areas of concern. However, Ballon noted that persons were properly trained to conduct their duties and explained the provisions in place to ensure confidentiality.
And 2 scanners before, so we now train them, each individuals, which we have about 12 working with us, included, no, not included, but also alongside a project manager, where we train them on the scanners, make sure that they were competent enough, and then when the project started to roll out, then we make it easier for them to get into the groove of getting scanning done.
Persons may be worried about confidentiality in terms of person's record being scanned and uploaded to a system. What assurance can you give persons, or can you speak to confidentiality in this regard?
Okay, for confidentiality, before each individual actually starts scanning a record, we actually have them sign the confidentiality piece of documentation which was created by the ministry. It's the same documentation that we have the regular clinicians who interact with the system sign upon being trained and then given password and username for the system.
Several of the persons who were trained under the project highlighted some of the challenges they faced moving from papers to a digital system.
Like a bit challenging, but not to say that bad. But as the days goes by, you know, it's smooth.
Okay, what's the best part of this process for you?
Well, the best part is coming to work every day and do your work.
And what's the most challenging part?
Oh, the most challenging part is the big files that we have to do with like 300 pages or so. Right.
Really?
Yeah, but it's...
The training that you got, you think it equipped you to manage the work that you're doing?
Yes, yes.
It's a bit tedious when you have the big files. It takes a lot more time. And, yeah, but basically it's a good job, you know.
Did you learn a lot in the training? Did you learn anything?
Well, I learned anything better for sure, because you see a lot of people have some problems with the health. So it just get me a little wiser now with my health and stuff.
Like the various times where the software would crash and we would have to start over because we lost our progress. But yeah, that was the most challenging thing. Occasionally when the software would crash.
Have you learned anything new in this process?
Well, there's a lot of files and a lot of people in the hospital. And this is very important because it's not an easy thing to be digging through all of these files to find the thing that you need. It would be a lot easier to just go to the computer and search up for them.
A workshop to finalize the country work program for SVG for 2020 to 2024 will be hosted tomorrow. The workshop will be hosted by the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, with the support of the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, SEDIMA, and the United Nations Office for Disaster Risk Reduction. The objective of the workshop is to finalize programs and the plan of action to implement the national and regional priorities of the Comprehensive Disaster Management Strategy, the Sendai Framework for Disaster Risk Reduction, and to ensure that the Sustainable Development Goals and the National Economic and Social Development Plan of St. Vincent and the Grenadines 2013 to 2025 are incorporated into the country work program. NEMO says the country work program has been developed based on the gaps identified following consultations held over the last year. Tomorrow's workshop will take place at NEMO's conference room commencing at 8:30 a.m. Jamaica parliamentarians expressed outrage about the growing number of domestic violence in the country. This from the region. When we return, stay with us.
That was the local news segment.
The Ever-Ready Funeral Home at French's is your friend in times of grief. With over 40 years' experience, they are prepared to take care of all your funeral arrangements. Embalming, lowering device service, grave mattresses, carpeting, vaults, tombs, and wreaths. Arrangements for television obituaries. Cremation is available upon request. Ever-Ready Funeral Home offers the finest in caskets and coffins, local and imported. So, in your time of need, call Ever-Ready Funeral Home at any time. 456-1494. Ever-Ready Funeral Home, offering service above self.
Juicy, juicy, drink today. Juicy, juicy, same great taste. Juicy, juicy, the original drink. It's a Vinci thing. Get your red and banana, pineapple, juicy cola, orange or apple. Juicy for you and for your neighbor. It's a Vinci thing. Enjoy it juicy, the original Vinci thing. Juicy.
We've been bad boys our whole life. It's time we be good men. Who in the hell want to sing that song?
Bad boys, bad boys, bad boys.
One last time. One last time.
Bad boy, that's what's up.
I got this. I'm gonna penetrate this man's soul with my heart. How deep you think you got in his soul?
Bad boys.
He trying to do them all. We're not just black, we're cops too. We'll pull ourselves over later.
Quality products, quality care, low prices, great customer service, all at QCare Pharmacy. QCare leads the way, providing all your pharmaceutical needs, a variety of personal care products, and so much more. Located on Halifax Street. Telephone number 451-2690. QCare Pharmacy, where the Q stands for quality.
Fridges, cookers. We make your life so easy. Just come in and see us. A wide range of furniture. Right here at Singer. Affordable beds and mattresses. Right here at Singer. Washing machines to make your laundry clean and fresh. Singer is a family store that gives you the best hire purchase deals. Right here at Singer. We'll outfit your home. Right here at Singer. The #1 family store. It's us for Singer.
Make no excuse. Claim those fitness goals with a little help from Quartz. Save big on home fitness equipment when you shop with up to 15% off. Plus, get a chance to win a free spin bike. Shop today and pay nothing until March with Quartz Ready Finance. Make no excuses. Shop and win. Only at Quartz. Bringing value home. Conditions apply.
The regional news segment sponsored by Massey Stores SVG Limited.
Massey Stores Pharmacy is the one for you. Is the one for you. We have competitive prices for your prescriptions too. We have 10% off for seniors, children under 3. We're here for your convenience. Prescription services. Leave your prescriptions while you shop. And our professional pharmacists will help you out. Massey Stores Pharmacy. Massey Stores Pharmacy. Where your health is your wealth.
Located at Massey Stores Kingstown. Contact us at 453-9112.
Welcome to our news from the region. There was outrage and condemnation in the Jamaica Parliament yesterday over the continued attacks on the nation's women. As we hear more in this TVJ News report, the parliamentarians made it clear there is no excuse for abuse.
That beats a woman is not a real man. Opposition MP Horace Daly reacting to a perennial problem, domestic violence. In some instances, women have been killed. Alanda Terrelong points to what he calls toxic masculinity. For example, men who believe they own women.
And if they make an investment in the woman and the woman somehow cheat on them or give them bun or somehow no longer wants to be in the relationship, then they believe that somehow their feelings are hurt, their egos are bruised, and they must now somehow retaliate. Women are not the property of men. We must also recognize, Mr. Speaker, that if a woman decides, for whatever reason, that she wishes to leave the relationship, let her go. She does not belong to you.
He was responding to a statement from Gender Minister Olivia Grange, who condemned the recent killing of 2 women by their partners. She reiterated the need for more safe spaces to deal with women in toxic relationships.
Telling women to walk away is just one part of the solution. On leaving these environments, our continued support is needed. Nevia Sinclair, a young 27-year-old woman, did what we all recommended. She walked away. She walked away from an abusive relationship, yet still in her case, this was not enough.
On Sunday night, Nevia Sinclair was stabbed to death allegedly by her ex-boyfriend in Brinkley, St. Elizabeth. That same morning in Portmore, St. Catherine, JDF Corporal Doran Mackenzie fatally chopped and shot his girlfriend Swan Easy before killing himself. In the meantime, opposition spokesperson on gender Denise Daly called for schools, communities and church groups to look out for signs of domestic abuse.
When you listen to children, sometimes you are aware of what is happening in the homes. But we don't take any stock, we don't take any note of these things in order that we can start the preventative measures from there. So we probably need to start looking at how the children are socializing in schools in order that we will be able to detect.
Co-founder of Change Guyana, Nigel Hines, has stepped down as the party's prime ministerial candidate for the general election, which will be held in 2 months' time. Hines, an accountant, notified the public of the decision in a release citing his current dual citizenship status, revealing that he is a citizen of the United States of America. Guyana's constitution does not allow dual citizens to assume a place in the National Assembly. We hear more in this report.
When the party was launched at the end of October, former Prime Ministerial candidate of Change Guyana Nigel Hines says he was fully aware that he couldn't be a candidate while being the holder of dual citizenship. At that time, Hines says he was fully committed to renouncing his U.S. citizenship.
At several occasions in the media, I could distinctly remember on Plain Talk, this was made known to the public. So I never thought it was a secret that it's an unknown as to my dual citizenship. Subsequent to the launch, I received a diagnosis because I had done a medical just before the launch, I think around the 22nd of, not a diagnosis, I had done some tests at a clinic in Pembroke Pines, and I got the results on the 7th of November after the launch.
After some consultations, Hines said he knew by mid-December that he couldn't be a candidate on the Change Guyana list. He added that he did not sign on to the list that was presented on nomination day.
So there was no fraud involved. My dereliction or neglect was to fail to inform the public earlier that I am not on the nomination list. What was planned was to have that release done by or before nominations day.
He would go on to make the case that events overtook the entire party, which precluded them from making the announcement until Sunday. That's 2 days after nomination day. But Hines will serve as the party's chairman, and as for a new prime ministerial candidate, that is under consideration, according to presidential candidate of the party, Robert Badal. Additionally, he gloated that the party has received word from GCOM that its lists have been approved. But GCOM has listed January 15 as the date of the approval and non-approval of lists submitted.
And resigns as Putin proposes reforms that could extend his grip on power. This from the international scene. When we return, stay with us.
That was a regional news segment sponsored by Massey Stores SVG Limited.
Massey Stores Pharmacy is the one for you. Is the one for you. We have competitive prices for your prescriptions too. We have 10% off for seniors, children under 3. We're here for your convenience. Prescription services. Leave your prescriptions while you shop. And our professional pharmacists will help you out. Massey Stores Pharmacy. Massey Stores Pharmacy. Where your health is your wealth.
Located at Massey Stores, Kingstown. Contact us at 453-9112.
It's a new season. Count it all joy as the Methodist Church Kingstown Chanticleer Circuit presents our annual New Year's concert on January 26, 2020 at the Kingstown Methodist Church, beginning at 4:30 p.m. featuring Methodist voices, Rooted Methodist Dance Ministry, Resonance Band, Penola Ross, Otto Essien, Darren Andrews, and much more. Admission adults $25, $10 for children. Don't you miss it! What is the movie for myself? Ticket outlets, Career City Store, Lady J, and the Kingstown Methodist Church office.
Beautiful white and black sand beaches, lush mountains and valleys, rivers, hidden waterfalls, and multiple islands and islets. St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We are a friendly people, welcoming tourists from all over the world with exotic boutique and luxury hotels and a hospitable business environment. Let's make all tourists welcome at our international airport, on cruises, on yachts, on sailboats, on land and sea tours, at beach lines, at our restaurants, shops and bars, and at our national festivals. St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Tourism is everyone's business. Live it, love it, embrace it.
Tourism is everyone's business. Yeah. Live it, love it, embrace it.
Make no excuse. Claim those fitness goals with a little help from Quartz. Save big on home fitness equipment when you shop with up to 15% off. Plus, get a chance to win a free spin bike. Shop today and pay nothing until March with Quartz Ready Finance. Make no excuses. Shop and win. Only at Quartz. Bringing value home. Conditions apply.
SVG-TV International News segment sponsored in part by Courez Distribution Limited.
For over 60 years, we have sought only the best beans grown in the lush hills of the Andean Mountains of Colombia. Cold Cafe. We carefully select only the very best beans and roast them to delicious perfection by our experienced roast masters. Cold Cafe. Cold Cafe treats you to one of the finest coffees in the world. Available in classic and decaffeinated. A rich flavor and aroma that can only come from 100% Colombian coffee. Cold Cafe. Indulge yourself in our delicious cappuccinos available in classic mocha and French vanilla. Enjoy them hot to warm your soul or cool to cool you down. Either way, they are incredibly satisfying. So go ahead, enjoy Cold Cafe and treat yourself.
Welcome to the international news. Russian Prime Minister Dmitry Medvedev announced on state television that he and the entire government are resigning after President Vladimir Putin proposed constitutional amendments that could extend his decades-long grip on power beyond the end of his presidency. Putin thanked members of the government for their work, but added that not everything worked out and that in the near future he would meet with each member of the cabinet. We hear more in this report.
Julie, it certainly is a massive development, and it really one that came absolutely surprising to folks here in Russia, to everybody who's observing Russia as well. I can tell you that when this announcement happened, Russian state TV didn't even break into it. They continued their regular programming because even they hadn't heard and they hadn't been informed that this was going to happen. Then a couple of minutes later, there was some video of Vladimir Putin speaking with Dmitry Medvedev, and then he made this announcement saying that he and his entire government would resign. Now, I have his statement here. I'm going to paraphrase from it a little bit, so forgive me for not looking up at the camera the entire time. He said that significant changes not only to a number of articles of the Constitution, but to the balance of power as a whole were announced. Vladimir Putin had his State of the Union address today, where he called for some changes to Russia's constitution to give actually the parliament more power and less power to the presidency, which some people see as Vladimir Putin preparing for 2024 when his term runs out and when normally he would have to leave power as far as the constitution of this country is concerned. So he announced some things that he wanted to happen, and part of that pertained to the way that the prime minister is elected, which he says in the future should happen by the parliament and not by the presidency as it has been in the past. So those were some fundamental things that Vladimir Putin said earlier today. And Dmitry Medvedev then in his statement, he said, in the context of that, we as the government should provide the president of our country with the opportunity to make all the decisions necessary for this. And in these conditions, I believe it would be right in accordance with Section 1117 of the Constitution, the government would resign. So Dmitry Medvedev there announcing his resignation, announcing the entire government's resignation. Vladimir Putin was actually seated next to him as he made this announcement on national TV then. And Vladimir Putin then accepted that resignation. He said not everything had gone well, but he did thank the government. And then Vladimir Putin said that this current government is going to stay in power as in a caretaker function while Vladimir Putin speaks with every single minister personally and then decides whether or not these ministers are going to be able to continue or get back into their portfolios or whether they will leave.
Donald Trump will face trial over abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. The president's faith was confirmed as the country's House of Representatives voted along party lines to send his impeachment to the Senate. His opponents said it was an important day for America. The man himself said it was another con job. We hear more in this report.
Finally, the moment.
The resolution is adopted, and without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
The articles of impeachment against Donald Trump will now move from the House of Representatives to the Senate. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi unveiled the team that will lead the trial against Donald Trump. She insists her calculated 4-week delay has paid off.
On December 18th, the House of Representatives impeached the President of the United States. An impeachment that will last forever. Time has revealed many things since then. Time has been our friend in all of this because it has yielded incriminating evidence, more truth into the public domain.
Pelosi is referring to material obtained from Lev Parnas, an associate of Trump's personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani. It reveals previously unknown details about efforts to push Ukraine into announcing an investigation into Trump's political rival, Joe Biden.
Interference into our elections. Again, he jeopardized our national security. He did all this for his personal political gain.
The Democrats' delay was crucially about pressuring Republicans to allow witnesses to be called during the trial. But no witness deal has been reached. Republicans are united in their ongoing dismissal of the entire process.
Back when this national nightmare began, Speaker Pelosi laid bare her intentions and purely partisan agenda. She told her caucus that they needed to strike while the iron is hot. This was always an exercise in raw partisan politics.
As the House moved on impeachment, Donald Trump was signing phase 1 of his China trade deal. He wants voters to see him as the stoic president, focused on things that matter. while Democrats continue their obsession with bringing him down. The Senate trial is expected to begin in earnest next Tuesday. It's only the third ever of a U.S. president. If Democrats have their way, there could be some explosive moments. But it is the Republicans who control the Senate. And they want all this to be over as quickly as possible.
And that's the news. Sports is just ahead. But before that, we take a look at the local weather forecast.
SVG-TV International News segment was sponsored in part by Carez Distribution Limited.
Let's go! Turn up the fun!
With Chocolisto and its great flavor, enriched with vitamins and minerals that help you grow.
Chocolisto makes you big and strong.
Report sponsored in part by General Hardware, Budgemart Limited.
Listen, the big hardware stores have been ripping off Vincentians for years with their high prices. They came General Hardware with the lowest prices ever in SVG. Now, the big guys are scrambling to drop their prices, but they still can't beat the General. So don't let them fool you. General Hardware still has the best prices on lumber, plywood, and steel. And even with a sale, the General beats that too. So go on, compare prices, then come to General Hardware and save dollars every day. Because nobody beats the General. Nobody. General Hardware Supplies, located next to Yvette's Pork City in Arnesville. Call 453-9000.
Bebin, the diaper made with the very best for the very best. Keeps up with them on the go. With a wetness indicator, Bebin keeps your child dry and happy. For quality and affordability, choose Bebin every time.
Bebin Premium.
Now for our local weather forecast. Present conditions fair and breezy. Winds east-northeast at 26 kilometers per hour. Temperature 26.2 degrees Celsius. Relative humidity 75%. Barometric pressure 13.6 millibars. 24-hour rainfall 2.9 millimeters. Today's maximum temperature 28.3 degrees Celsius. Today's minimum temperature 23.0 degrees Celsius. Sunset today at 5:57 p.m. and sunrise tomorrow at 6:31 a.m. The forecast: partly cloudy to cloudy and breezy with some brief scattered showers. And our synopsis: weak unstable conditions are affecting the island.
The weather report was sponsored in part by General Hardware, Budgemart Limited.
Bebin, the diaper made with the very best for the very best. Keeps up with them on the go. With a wetness indicator, Bebin keeps your child dry and happy. For quality and affordability, choose Bebin every time.
Bebin Premium.
Your home is a long-term investment, including most of its features. So when purchasing windows, ensure to acquire a superior product like Kendra's double-sliding heavy-duty window, optional burglar bars, protective insect screens, rubber-sealed thick glass, stainless steel tracking system and rollers, secure and durable locking system on both panels. Inferior products on the market fail to secure your home effectively. So be on alert for inferior imitation. Key things to avoid are problematic latching locks, a poor tracking system, making daily operation of your windows difficult and sometimes impossible, poorly built insect screens, glued on copycat designs, thin and easy to break glass. Always choose the affordable brand from Kendra's aluminum windows and products, built on a tradition of excellence. Bereavement or loss of life in your family could come as a shock. That's why it's important to always focus on the things that made you happy and the memories that you shared. At Memorial Funeral Home, our warm and friendly staff ensures that your experience is a pleasant one. Our sensitive staff is understanding, caring, and all-knowing when it comes to selecting your underground furniture and the things that you need to celebrate life.
Well, I am a furniture manufacturer, and I manufacture furniture for all purposes. At this time, I am interested in manufacturing some underground furniture. You can purchase these underground furniture at the Memorial Funeral Home in Metzpo.
So call us at 458-8888 or 530-5694 and let's celebrate life.
Welcome to the evening sports. Ireland won the first T20 in the three-match series against the West Indies by 4 runs in a keenly contested matchup. Ireland won the toss and elected to bat first, posting 208 for 7 in their 20 overs. Paul Stirling top scored for Ireland, knocking 95 runs. The pick of the Windies bowlers was the returning Dwayne Bravo, who bowled 4 overs, scalping 2 wickets for 28 runs. Harry Pear and Sheldon Cottrell also picked up 2 wickets each. In reply, the West Indies fell short with the bats scoring 204 for 7 in 20 overs. Evan Lewis top scored with 53 and captain Kieran Pollard 31. The West Indies will face Ireland in the second T20 of the 3-match series on Saturday in St. Kitts. Jamaican Jacqueline Williams became the first woman to officiate as the 3rd umpire in a men's international when she took the field for the first of 3 2020 internationals against the visiting Ireland team earlier today. The 43-year-old will officiate in the position in all 3 matches of the series. She continues the trend of women officials breaking barriers in the game, having already stood as an on-field umpire in men's one-day internationals and T20 internationals. Last month, India's G.S. Lakshmi oversaw the 3rd series of the ICC Men's Cricket World Cup League 2 in the United Arab Emirates, becoming the first woman match referee in men's one-day internationals. Earlier in May, she became the first woman to be appointed onto the ICC International Panel of Match Referees. In April last year, Australia's Claire Polasak became the first female umpire to stand in a men's one-day international in the ICC World Cricket League Division 2 match between Namibia and Oman in Windhoek, Namibia. Retired umpire Kathy Cross of New Zealand was the first woman official to stand in a men's ICC tournament during the ICC World Cricket League Division 5 and 3 held in Malaysia in 2014. Kevlon Anderson smashed a thrilling ton as West Indies under-19s condemned Scotland to a 126-run defeat in their final warm-up fixture in South Africa. Anderson, the talented young batsman from Guyana, was 101 not out in a swashbuckling knock that came off 72 balls, with the Windies posting 322 for 6 from their 50 overs. He was ably supported by Kimani Melius 67 and Leonardo Julian 65 for the Mammoth total. The Windies innings contained 2 strong stands as Melius and Julian combined for a century for the 2nd wicket, with Anderson dominating the 5th wicket partnership, batting alongside Daniel Beckford 27. Scotland in response were bowled out for 196 with Uzar Shah 49 and Ben Davidson 34 top scoring. Windies take on Australia in their Group B tournament opener on Saturday in Kimberley. The evening sports will continue in a moment. Stay with us.
My sister's pharmacy is the one for you. Is the one for you. We have competitive prices for your prescriptions too. We have 10% off for seniors, children under 3. We're here for your convenience. Prescription services. Leave your prescriptions while you shop. And our professional pharmacists will help you out. Massey Stars Pharmacy, Massey Stars Pharmacy, where your health is your wealth.
Located at Massey Stores, Kingstown. Contact us at 453-9112.
Bowman's Pharmacy, why choose us? We have all the prescriptions and over-the-counter medications, personal care products, lowest price guaranteed. Located conveniently next to the Bank of SVG on Grenville Street. Opening hours Monday to Thursday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Email us bowmanspharmacy@yahoo.com. Call us today at 456-2235 or 593-3918. Bowman's Pharmacy, easy to find and ready to serve you.
Make no excuse. Claim those fitness goals with a little help from Quartz. Save big on home fitness equipment when you shop with up to 15% off. Plus, get a chance to win a free spin bike. Shop today and pay nothing until March with Quartz Ready Finance. Make no excuses. Shop and win. Only at Quartz. Bringing value home. Conditions apply.
We've been bad boys our whole life. It's time we be good men. Who in the hell want to sing that song?
Bad boys, bad boys, bad boys.
One last time. One last time.
Bad boy, that's what's up.
I got this. I'm gonna penetrate this man's soul with my heart. How deep you think you got in his soul?
Bad boys.
He tried to do them all. We're not just black, we're cops too. We'll pull ourselves over later.
Welcome back. The Caribbean Games' oldest rivalry between Barbados Pride and Guyana Jaguars will be the headline act in the second round of the 2019-2020 West Indies Championship starting tomorrow. Pride have been the bridesmaids in each of the 5 successive title seasons for the Jaguars in the Professional Cricket League era of the championship, and this contest at Kensington Oval could have big implications for both sides and other teams too for the remainder of the tournament. A feisty battle is expected at Sabina Park between Jamaica's Scorpions and Windward Island's Volcanoes, 2 teams which came out of the first round of matches with their confidence soaring. And Trinidad and Tobago Red Force, Leeward Islands Hurricanes at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy, with both teams looking to take a step forward after disappointing outcomes in the first round. All teams wishing to participate in the TBPO 2020 football competition are asked to attend a meeting on Wednesday, 22nd January, commencing at 5:30 p.m. at the Daphne Community Center. Interested teams are asked to send 2 representatives to this meeting to discuss matters pertaining to the competition. The competition is scheduled to commence on Sunday, 9th February at the Daphne playing field, and registration forms can be collected from Ashford Wood, Junior Bacchus, Michael John or Curtis King. All interested teams are reminded that registration closes on Friday, 24th January. And that's how we end sports this evening. We'll be right back to wrap things up.
The Vallejo Experience. We cater for all of your psychological needs. We promote holistic wellness, balancing the mind, body, and spirit. I am Dr. Giselle Miller, CEO and founder of the Vallejo Experience. Contact us today. We are willing and ready to serve you.
26 retail shops and restaurants open now for your convenience. At the cruise ship terminal. At the cruise ship terminal. It's a great venue to run for functions. Secure parking, great and beyond. At the cruise ship terminal. At the cruise ship terminal.
Convenient parking at the Kingstown Cruise Ship Terminal and the Geese Compound. The Kingstown Cruise Ship Terminal has 26 retail shops and restaurants with a variety of food offerings. A great secure venue for your function with a great ambience. Also, we offer lock storage service. The Cruise Ship Terminal. Convenience for you.
At the cruise ship terminal. The cruise ship terminal.
LA Unique Upholstery. Quality at a low cost. We build to suit your needs. Contact us at Redemption Shops 457-0182 or Stony Grounds 453-2089.
Make no excuse. Claim those fitness goals with a little help from Quartz. Save big on home fitness equipment when you shop with up to 15% off. Plus, get a chance to win a free spin bike. Shop today and pay nothing until March with Quartz Ready Finance. Make no excuses. Shop and win. Only at Quartz. Bringing value home. Conditions apply.
And now for a second look at the headlines. Deputy Prime Minister wants more incentives to take advantage of the Canadian Farm Workers Program. Jamaica parliamentarians expressed outrage about the growing number of domestic violence in the country. Russian government resigns as Putin proposes reforms that could extend his grip on power. And in sports, Ireland defeats West Indies in a keenly contested first T20 match. On behalf of all of us here at SVG-TV, thanks for viewing. I am Yvette Bowens. Don't forget to visit our Facebook page for a recap of the news and daily headlines. Also tune in for SVG-TV's News in 15 at 12:45 p.m. weekdays. Have a good evening.
Listen, the big hardware stores have been ripping off Vincentions for years with their high prices. They came General Hardware with the lowest prices ever in SVG. Now, the big guys are scrambling to drop their prices, but they still can't beat the General. So don't let them fool you. General Hardware still has the best prices on lumber, plywood, and steel. And even with a sale, the General beats that too. So go on, compare prices. Then come to General Hardware and save dollars every day. Because nobody beats the General. Nobody. General Hardware Supplies, located next to Yvette's Pork City in Arnesville. Call 453-9000.
Make no excuse. Claim those fitness goals with a little help from Quartz. Save big on home fitness equipment when you shop with up to 15% off. Plus, get a chance to win a free spin bike. Shop today and pay nothing until March with Quartz Ready Finance. Make no excuses. Shop and win. Only at Quartz. Bringing value home. Conditions apply.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 350 local anywhere calls and texts. With the always-on prepaid plans, all for $24.